Hey, what is going on? Man, I'm so excited. I am so excited. Man, I'm talking to probably one of the nicest guys I've ever seen. Right. I see you doing some amazing stuff, man. I'm gonna go with your bio, man, because there's no way I can do it justice. And what I got here is Michael is the founder and development director of Smile Project Louisville. He wanted to be the reason someone smiled today. He has been spreading love and influencing attitudes and behavior through random acts of kindness and smiles. It's through these acts of kindness and pictures that have made an impact and inspire others to smile one at a time. Oh man, dude, just read that, man. I get motivated, man. How are you doing today?
I'm outstanding, brother. What a way to kick it off, the start of the week, and let's just bring some love and energy to the world, man.
Yeah, man.
Thank you for having me,
dude. Thanks for agreeing to do it, man. I've seen you a couple times on the news, and I see you, and I'm like, man, there's something about this guy, man. He's infectious. And then one day I was scrolling through LinkedIn, and I saw that smile, and I was like, dude, I recognize him from somewhere. And then I start scrolling. You know, you see somebody that you're interested in, and you scroll, and every last like video that you have, like you're doing that infectious smile, dude. Like, where did that come from? Have you always been such a happy guy?
You know, I'd like to think a lot of times I am, but let's keep it real, dude. Life happens, and I think that when life hits us harder than most, it is what it is. And I guess in my life, as life hit me really hard and can just, you know, as we say, we get back up, but it just kept knocking me down. I think what I found in my life, T, is that the ability to smile through such adversity, that even though we still do go through hardships and challenges, it is our perception. And I tell my kids this all the time, we've got choices. So when you get knocked down, you can choose to just get swallowed up by all the negativity and BS in life, or you can make a choice that life is still good, it's still amazing, and it's still that way truly because of the people in my life. So when I find my way still at times, we talked before we hit the air today, you know, look, at times I hit these speed bumps, but life is still ridiculously good regardless of the circumstances. So I'd like to think that the good Lord blessed me with, you know, a shit ton of energy, charisma, wit, you know, a lot of those things that I thank the good Lord for. So I do roll most of the time happy and with a lot of energy that I do think people find infectious. There's just something about some people that when they enter the room, you can kind of feel their presence. I think I'm one of those guys. I'm not better than you. It's just how I roll. You know?
Yeah. They say it was a quote that I was looking at the other day, and it said, there's some people that can light up the room when they come in the room and everybody is happy, but then there's some people that could light up the room when they leave because they're just gone.
Suck the energy out of the room too. It goes both way. And that's what I a lot of times too, when I do some of the things that I do, I try to get people to talk about themselves and how amazing they are, because I do believe we all are amazing, and self-love is so important. And it's what I just said. Just because I think that I'm amazing and have beautiful things about me, don't mean I'm any better than you. It's just what I love about me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I can feel that energy, bro. Oh man, I can feel that. Dude, I wanna meet you, man. I wanna meet you. Where do you live at?
Well, man, you hollowed it out. Smile Project. So you're, I think
you're in Louisville, right?
You're in Seattle. I'm in. So most people said it the way you said it, and that is Louisville. But here in town, we say Louisville. So I live in Louisville, Kentucky, which is probably the better part of 2,000 miles east of you. And in this part of the neck of the woods of the country, we're not really the Midwest or the North. we don't really think we're the South yet, because that's really like Tennessee. So we're this little hidden gem in the Ohio Valley. But my friend, I do intend, a lot of what I've done so far this year. I've gotten to everywhere in Florida. I did a lot in California a couple weeks ago. And
that's why I asked you that. I was confused. I thought that I was like, I know his bio says that he lived in Louisville, right? Louisville. All right, I'm gonna get it.
One of the
but I saw you in Cali.
Been on this planet. I tell people we have so many iconic things that come from this city and state. You know, first and foremost, look, Kentucky Fried Chicken. Nobody can forget that.
Yeah.
Louisville Slugger, and we got the great Muhammad Ali. Grew up in this amazing city here. So Cassius Clay. But
I was there probably, my wife took for my birthday. She took me to that museum, dude. And dude, I'm walking through that place, and
you talking about Ali Museum?
Yeah.
It's unbelievable, dude.
Yeah.
Absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, we went to his grave site too, man. And I'm just like, this is really cool, man. Just to see the way that he designed that, his whole little deal. I just like, so this, I was like, man, I get it.
We were, when he was living, we were blessed by that fact. Even though he didn't reside here full time, he came back all the time, and he would drip into different venues, sporting events and things all over the city unannounced. And again, there was a dude too, even though in the latter part of his life, he wasn't as vocal as he once was. You could feel that dude's presence in this city.
Oh my God.
So an amazing human being. So you've been here, my man. That's awesome.
Yeah. I just thought about that. I was like, yeah, I totally went there, man. I got pictures of me standing in the ring there at the place, hitting the freaking speed back.
I did a video last year for somebody when I saw it on LinkedIn, and they're a somewhat of an influencer. I went by his childhood home.
Yeah.
And I did a whole 2-minute video about him and the things he stood for in his life right in front of his house. Dang. Which is not more than about 10 minutes from where the museum is. So yeah.
Oh man, why didn't I think to go there, man? Oh man, I didn't think about that.
It's now where he grew up is a national landmark, his house there. So yeah.
Wow, that is so powerful. And you did a video in front of it, right?
In front of his crib. Yep. Oh yeah. Dude, where it all started. So
dude, that is powerful. Do you do any motivational speaking at all?
So I've started to. I did some stuff right before COVID.
Yeah.
And I did it within schools. And then I said, wow, this is one of the paths I'm going to go on. Yeah. And then of course, as COVID hit, it was like, well, how in the hell am I going to figure this out now? we can't get human beings together. So I obviously did a handful of things virtually. And then I actually just, about 10 days ago, spoke locally to a chamber. It was it happened to be their first luncheon in a year. Wow. There was about 100 people, there. So I spoke and kind of, and now it's kind of one of these things, because I've been doing this for the better part of 3 years. And even my journey in doing this has evolved. Yeah. That I have so many stories with people, on my journey. And it's really just to lay that out to people. And, and a lot of what my message comes back to really one thing, and that is, if you want to create the change in your life, you're powerful enough to do it. And then when you do that, and then when you do that, and you do that, if you take it a step further, what most people don't realize is they stop there because they think singularly. They think because they're one dude that they can't influence others. And man, I am living proof. I am absolutely living proof that the more you keep throwing that stone in the pond, and the bigger those stones get, the ripples just keep gravitating well beyond that pond.
Oh, dude, this is good. This is good. Man, I love you, man. I love you, bro.
And who would ever think? I mean, this is what's crazy, is that you probably don't, and this is all good, but you probably don't know how this started.
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering. And that's what I'm wondering.
It took what I tell people, it took the intersection of two things in my life. So my initial why, the foundation. So the house was, the foundation was poured because of a girl who can't talk.
Yeah.
And I tell people, get in the frame of mind of thinking, if you're a parent, imagine your child never saying those 3 words to you, T.
Oh, man. Yeah.
I love you. We take
Yeah.
that for granted. But yet, what I started to see, even though she couldn't say those 3 words, is I felt it. And I felt it through smiles. So as I had to, climb out of that ditch in life, which, for me was being the father of a special needs daughter. I lost a son. My career fell apart. I was financially ruined, lost my house, my marriage. And I woke up as a 43-year-old man living with his parents delivering pizzas. And I found that my life had no value.
Damn.
That I was done. But again, I always had the love of a girl who couldn't talk. Never thinking then that it would intersect with something. And this is what I say, whether you believe in the universe or God, for me, I'm a man of faith. So this was as a bunch of things in my life, I call them God moments, and that if you are a person of faith, God speaks to us all the time. Most of the time we choose not to listen. We're human beings, we're fallible. But I was having a really bad morning in the office in February of 2018. And I knew the only thing in the moment that was going to make me feel better, wait for it, is that I wanted 2 large chilies from Wendy's.
2 large chilies.
So wait, man. So I
like that.
I rolled to Wendy's to get me. It's like, it's cold. You know how it is. It was like 42 degrees and rainy.
Oh yeah, I know that Midwest weather. Yeah.
So I rolled to Wendy's like I always did once or twice a week. And as I rolled through the drive-through, again, I was trying to process things in my life still, that weren't clicking. And that girl on the other side of that window made me feel good.
Wow. Is it because she was giving you the burger? I mean, giving you the cup of chili? Or
no, you know what? No. And the funny thing is, one of the most reoccurring questions I get asked when I share this story is, and look, I want to give her value because her name was Chantrell. She was important. So as I went through, I knew the gravity of the moment, because who pulls? I mean, most people don't pull right over after you get your food. You're going back to whatever you got to do. And I pulled over and I sat there for a moment and I reflected on it and I broke down crying.
Damn.
And that was one of those moments I said, God, what in the hell are you trying to tell me right here? So I cried for a few minutes. I gathered my thoughts, and I knew the only thing to do in that moment was to thank her. So, I laugh about this now when I tell the story, because it is a little creepy to get out of your car and to walk back up to that drive-through window. It's like taboo. You don't go back to the window.
It is what it is, brother.
The first thing that they say is, sir, what's wrong?
Right.
Because I think I made a mistake. And she said that, and I said, no, it's not what is wrong. I said, it's what is right. And what is right is thank you. And of course, she's like, thank you for what? I'm like, I don't know, but thank you for what you just did for me. I said, I was having an awful morning, and you just made me laugh. She goes, oh, I didn't do anything. I said, yes, you did. And I said, what's your name? And she said, Chantrell. And I don't know why again, but I'm convinced it was God speaking to me. I said, can I take my picture with you? I would love to remember this moment.
Yeah.
And she leaned out, we smiled, took a picture together. And I had a lot less hair, because that was back then when I was shaving my head down. So it's funny, because the first year when I was taking pictures, but that's how it started. But when it starts, like I said, when you talk about the power of one and those things, for me, it meant nothing. But yet when you drive away and then you have time to reflect and pray and you think about what took place, I found myself in a couple of days later when I was working out in the gym and I bumped into another stranger, and it just felt good. And I said, can I take my picture with you? And then I took another picture. And the next thing I knew, I went all of a sudden a couple of weeks. And I'd taken like 6 pictures, and I'm like, what am I doing? I started taking random pictures with strangers.
Yeah.
So then it inspired me to keep doing it. And I said, I never knew the who, the where, the what, the when, the why, but I always felt like it was in the right place at the right time. And I was crossing the path of somebody that I needed to spend a few minutes with.
Yeah.
And I would take this picture with these people. And I did that for a couple of months. And then I got to the point I was like, well, maybe I should start sharing these to social media.
Yeah.
And I did. And I just started sharing it personally on Facebook. And then it started resonating with people because I was like, okay, I'm here with Tony today, or Chantrell, or Steve, or no matter who, or Will, no matter who they were. And then as it continued to evolve, I started finding something out about that person. And that's when I got into asking them to share something amazing about them. So it wasn't just that I was with Chantrell today. Hey, I'm with Chantrell at Wendy's, but this is what's amazing about Chantrell.
Yeah.
And again, I did that for a couple of months, and then it was like, what am I doing? You know? And then I said, we'll just call this, I'm like doing this Smile Project. And I live in Louisville. So let's just call it Smile Project Louisville, because I don't know if I'm going to do this 2 more weeks or 2 more months. But it just kept evolving, and people fell in love with it. And I did that for about 1.5 years until literally I had another epiphany. I woke up one morning and I'm like, I'm trying to affect all these people's attitudes and behaviors by smiling with strangers, and just, again, telling people we never know as we intersect our daily lives with strangers what someone else is going through. But I woke up one morning and I had another epiphany. I'm like, man, I'm trying to make people smile doing pictures. What if I did a random act of kindness?
Oh, so you're adding to it. You're adding to it.
So I was like,
right?
oh my God, what would I do? Where would I go? How would I do it? Kind of thing.
Yeah.
You know, and that's when in the late summer of 2019, I did my first random act of kindness and was blown away. You know, I was blown away in the moment. The person I did it for, I could feel it. Again, I videoed it. I shared it to Facebook. I wasn't even on LinkedIn at this point. My journey on LinkedIn hadn't even started, you know, but I saw the reception of people. Oh my God. So then it was like, holy crap, this is like a drug. Where do I go next?
Yeah.
You know, what do I do? And then as I started doing these, you know, more and more, I started feeling the joy of giving. And then in some cases, what you can't make up is I always left this little calling card with people. And it was not that anyone ever had to message me privately, but I had people message me privately that I did them for, that I found randomly.
Yeah.
And they were telling me what they were going through in life. And the level of gratitude they had, and how they described it was, again, like a God moment. You know, people were like, it was like you were a damn angel. You came out of nowhere, and the things that people were going through, you know. So I did that for a couple of months, and then all of a sudden that evolved even more, because then people were like, how do you find these people?
Randomly,
like,
right?
I put myself, you know, and they're like, well, what if I told you somebody maybe that was going through a hard time in life that needed a smile? I'm like, what do you mean? Who is it? And then they told me the story. I was like, oh my God, this is brilliant. I'm like, this is perfect.
Yeah.
And then that started to evolve, because then people started reaching out to me and telling me the story of others, whether they had lost jobs, going through cancer, you know, any number of situations I can get into, lost loved ones that they needed to feel loved, you know, by someone bringing them hope, smile, prayers, whatever, you know. So it's just continued to snowball. And after doing videos for about 6 months, I had you spoke about it earlier, but I had multiple news stories. But I'll never forget it. I was sitting right before COVID doing a radio program and being interviewed, and it really hit me for the first time. It was like, this thing's bigger than me.
Yeah.
That's what one human being can do if you choose to change your life, and the power and impact it can have on others.
Oh my God. So that brings you, it sounds like that brings you joy. right? Is that what kind of got you out of that funk that you were in?
Yeah, it's intense joy. And this is how I describe it to people. And people who have gone with me have said numerous things along these lines. But if you're a sports fan, okay, you can, if you're, I'll make it real for you. If you're a Seahawks fan, you could be at we could both be watching the same Seahawks game.
Right.
It's the same result. But if you're actually sitting at the 50-yard line in the stadium, you see and feel the energy and the environment because you're there.
Yeah.
But you know what? I'm at home on my couch. The result is the same. And that's what I tell people. And when I've had some people locally come with me, and then when I've taken it on the road and people have been in the room, I mean, as we're done and leaving, I mean, I had people go, it's like a damn drug, because it goes back to that. The joy of giving and loving a human being. And again, in some situations where when I've gone on the road and we've totally done this randomly, I've been in parking lots and people go, how do we know? Who are you going to pick? And I'm like, we'll feel it. I said, whether I wait 5 minutes or a half an hour, we'll feel it. You just feel it, and then when you do it and then it's done, you're like, oh my God, we got that so right.
Yeah. Is there like an adrenaline rush that you get afterwards?
It is. I get it before. And this is what I tell people too, is that I generally get about 90 seconds to 2.5 minutes with a stranger. That's all it is. And it's very real. These people don't know who in the hell I am. Most of them, if they're not local, they don't know who I am from a hole in a wall. And I generally say a really, really quick, short prayer right before, because I want the right words to flow from my mouth. Because, again, I'm there to, I often say this too, T, is that I'm really wanting to impress two people. When I say impress now, it's not a show, but I'm wanting to bring that love to impress upon two lives. First is the life of the person I'm with in that moment. Okay. The second person is one person who watches. Because if one person who watches, it doesn't matter if thousands of people watch my videos, but if one person who watches,
which they do,
if it inspires and impacts their life like a damn drive-through did. I mean, again, I laugh about it. You can't make it up. I mean, Wendy's drive-throughs don't change people's lives, but they did mine. So again, it's that second person who watches, and what continually blows me away at times. And I'll never diminish the people who come in frequently or every day that are inspired by my videos. But it's usually the person who has watched me for months.
Yeah.
Who's never commented.
Yeah.
And they send you that private message and they're like, man, I've been going through a lot. And I want to thank you for what you've done for me and the inspiration that you've had on me to understand that, we can still smile through such adversity in life.
Yeah. Do you ever feel like, because on my platform, I get messages all the time. Sometimes I'll get random phone calls and they're just be like, you said this and it changed my life. And it'll be something where I'm like, oh, really? That did? And you're just like, wow. Do you get those phone calls, and like what do they do for you? Like, because for me, I always get them when I need them. It's almost like
let me keep it real and in perspective. Of course I do, because I make very little on what I'm doing. And I'm trying to figure out those ways to sustain and move forward and all those things. And I think a lot of times what happens is, and I'm going to give you a very, very real example in a second, is that every time, it's not that I'm ready to throw the towel in, but where I have my hands on the towel, is when I get that message.
Yeah.
And I get that message, and it's like, hell no. And you throw that towel back down, baby. And it's time to
It's
get
like,
back
don't
in there
do
and
it.
keep swinging again.
Yeah.
You know, because it's that message of no, we stay the course, we keep moving forward. But when I said I would keep it real, it was in December. I won't forget this. I was in my car and I was on the interstate. And look, I don't tell other people to do this, but I happened to open my LinkedIn when I'm driving down the interstate.
I think anybody on LinkedIn, man, I think we all done it, right?
Transparent.
I love it, bro.
And I got a private message from a guy in St. Louis. And he said, I just want to thank you for helping me through one of the hardest times of my life.
Wow.
That my wife of 38 years passed away last night of cancer. And on my journey, I needed to see what you were doing on a daily basis. So where I was blown away was not by the message itself, but by the fact that he thought of the morning after his wife passed away
to call you,
to send me a message. I get it if it's 3 weeks later, but I'm like, again, you know, for people who on any level don't pay attention to the analytics, that's, you know, again, you know, look, I tried to break it down as simple as I could in the people that we impact and the lives that we can change, because sometimes you may go, well, man, that post only got 40 likes and 20 comments, but that one comment may have changed someone's day. And in that turn, in changing their day, may have changed their week, their month, their year. Again, Chantrell never knew she changed my life.
Did you ever go and reconnect with her?
So the interesting thing is, when this thing really got going, after I started doing the random acts of kindness, so I was about 18, 20 months in, but I'd only been doing random acts of kindness a couple of months. Yeah. And I said, oh my God, we got to find this girl and do something for her. So I reached back out to Wendy's, and they said she had moved out of state and they didn't have a forwarding address. So I always found it amazing, because I think now I've had 4 or 5 news stories and her picture has been on TV. Because more often than not, it's one of those singular moments that they show the very first picture, you know, that life-changing moment in that picture I took with her, is what gets shown. And she has no clue.
Wow, you have no idea. It's like, for the listeners and viewers, like that goes back to, like, you have no idea what kind of day somebody is going through, or no idea how one act of kindness can just change somebody's life. And it sounds like that happened to you, and you're changing lives all over. I can even say the world.
Let me tell you something that I mentioned just a second ago, as it relates to everything that I do. Because again, that question that I said earlier, well, what did Chantrell say to you? What Chantrell said to me is not relevant. And this hit me about a year ago, when I start, you know, of course, we read so many motivational, inspirational things. I mean, you get it on LinkedIn, you get it everywhere. But I had read something that wasn't the first time that I read it, but I guess more than anything, it was the first time it really marinated to the point I was like, holy shit, this is it. This is absolutely it. And it's what Maya Angelou said. People will forget what you said. They will forget what you did. They won't forget how you made them feel. So it doesn't matter what Chantrell said to me. It's how she made me feel. I still, to this day, 3 years later, and that's what I tell people when I go do these random acts of kindness. In some cases, I give them balloons, give them gift cards and all that. And the balloons die. They spend the gift card, and it makes them smile in the moment. They don't forget, though, how some random ass dude made them feel. And that feeling is that emotion of love, that the world and someone cares for them enough to give them hope, strength, the things they need wherever they are, on their journey.
Wow. I don't know if you noticed, you probably can't see it, but as soon as you gave that Maya Angelou quote, the sun start coming in, bro. The sun start
dude,
coming in.
It is. And look, I'm telling you, we read so much, but it's one of those things that I tell people, and it just goes back to, again, no matter where we are and not knowing what people are going through in life, it's the simple things that, look, it's cool because I give people gift cards and all these things. But you know what? 99% of what I do is never videoed. And it's not gift cards. It's just when I'm at the grocery checkout and I choose to look at the name tag and smile and give someone a high five and call them by their name. Again, it's those very small things, or just smiling at people. It's all of those nonverbal small things that we do, or how we react to people. We rush to judgment, sometimes in life.
Yeah. Yeah.
Man,
I love that. I
we
can feel your
overreact.
depth.
So keep it simple and just understand, sometimes, man, we're going through a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. What motivates you, man? How do you keep going through all the adversity that you went through? I know I was looking at some stuff. You're talking about your daughter being nonverbal. I would imagine that has been hard on you. What kept you to keep going?
I think too, as I quietly tell her private things, and the funny thing is, it's like Bigfoot. Bigfoot is the world hide and seek champion. Well, my daughter Maddie is the world champion at secret keeping.
Wow.
Because you talk to her, she can't talk. But my point in that is, I give her all kinds of street credit and love, and tell her in small private moments in which she saved my life. And even though I always had faith, I think sometimes in life, even though we have faith, when we go through such adversity and challenges, we can push God away. I think sometimes it's natural. So I think what I found is the ability to evolve. And I do say a lot of the relationships, going back to my daughter and other family members and friends, allowed me to evolve as a man and a father. And I give a lot of street credit to my daughter. So it's amazing too when you don't worry about what others think.
Yeah.
And you're willing to step outside of comfort zones.
Yeah.
I mean, I had a moment in which, again, I don't think I've ever had comfort zones, but I walked out of a grocery store. This was before I was doing videos. And sometimes, again, I would feel wanting to take a picture. And as I walked out, I had bags in both hands. And my camera was in my phone was in my back pocket. So I was like, and I saw these two black chicks walking in the parking lot. And again, I believe this at times. It's like the little tap on the shoulder going, these are your victims right here. You got to figure out what to do. But as I walked close to them, I shifted my bags, and it wasn't about a picture. And I put my arm around one of them.
Yeah.
No, wait for it.
How did that go?
And I looked at her. But again, this is what I say. And I believe this. I have when I ask people what makes them amazing, I think one of the things that makes me amazing is I have this innate ability to make people feel comfortable.
Yeah.
And I'm charming. So when I put my arm around a chick that I don't know, and I go, when's the last time a white man put his arm around you?
Oh, man. Oh, my God.
And she looked up at me, and her only thing she could think to do was, never. It's about damn time. And she started laughing. I said, oh, yes, feel good, baby.
Oh my
And then
God.
her friend started laughing and it goes, and damn, he smells good too. So in the moment, I gave them both a high five and I
Yeah.
started to walk off. And all I said was, just remember you both are so loved. And that was it. And that's the ability. Again, I'm not saying that everyone has to go out there and hug every last damn stranger, but I felt when I was taking these pictures at times or doing a random act of kindness when I'm standing in front of Walmart trying to find the right person, it's like I just feel it.
Yeah. You
I
just
just
feel it.
feel it. And
Yeah.
in some of these situations, again, I know I'm not getting it wrong after the fact. When I hear things about people, it's like, damn, that was so beautiful. I mean,
Yeah.
so
You feel like God is talking to you in those moments?
you know it, brother.
Yeah.
So I guess my final thought when you asked me that question is that, look, if you are a person of faith and you're guided by that, God talks to us all the time. Are you willing to listen? And if you are listening, then, for me, I'm trying to get to heaven, baby.
Yeah. Yeah. Are we all? Yeah.
So with that being said, I'm just trying to live my life in which it really comes down to that number one rule, and that is love. That's
Wow.
really what God asked us. So if you are a person of faith, just be love. It'll all work itself out. So everything that I do with love.
Wow. I love that. I love that. How just another quick question. Are you with your organization and the things that you're doing, do you find that there's any challenges that you run up against as far doing the things that you do? Because I know you travel, sounds like you travel
Okay,
quite a bit.
occasionally, of course. I mean,
And how can we
look,
help you? That's the most important part. How
do
can we
what now?
help you? I said, and how can we help you?
Well, the funny thing is I'll correct you only because I always used to say organization. Hello, it's me doing it all. Then
Yeah,
I finally
yeah,
said I ain't no damn organization, brother. I got a platform, or I've created this movement.
yeah,
Look, as in anything, and it evolved early on. Where some of the first random acts of kindness that I did, I funded them myself. And then all of a sudden, some people gave me some gift cards to give away because they saw I was doing. And then from there, it was like, okay, wow, it's become a pay it forward movement.
yeah,
People are moved by what they see and enjoy the work I'm doing. So as in anything like that, it's all for the love and generosity of human beings all over this country that feel touched by it. So I mean, look, it was hard at first. It's hard to ask for money,
yeah,
but that's what it is. Most of what I do is just being able to sustain and move it forward. And there have been moments in which when I give away $50 gift cards, $50 doesn't get it done. People
yeah.
need more. We did something last Christmas. We called it Operation Saving Santa. And I raised about $2,000 in a matter of about 3 or 4 days. And instead of going around and giving $50 to a lot of people, we went to impacted restaurant workers from COVID
Yeah.
who were single.
Wow.
And we gave it to single mothers who had kids. So then, when you're not working and someone shows up and gives you $400 for Christmas to help Santa bring his ass under the tree, again, that's a good representation of a $50 gift card is cool, but
Yeah.
it just doesn't get it done when you're 28 and you got
Right.
2 or 3 kids and you're a single mother trying to get it done. You need to buy it for everybody. But really the one that impacted me the most, that I knew it wasn't enough, I got asked to go make a mother she had 6 kids, and 3 months before I went, her 14-year-old daughter had a seizure and died.
Oh wow.
And they were struggling financially. And all I could do at the time with what I had was $100 and a free meal. And I had heard through the vine they couldn't even afford a tombstone. So it hit me. I'm like, man, these are these moments where $100 just doesn't get it done. That we need more to make some people smile, you know.
Yeah. It's going to take more. Yeah.
It's gonna take more. But look, when you ask if there's been times, occasionally, yeah. I was in Florida and there was this guy that we were supposed to make smile who was 70 years old. He was working 3 part-time jobs. We waited in the parking lot for an hour for him to show up. Couldn't get him on the phone, and he was out grinding at 70. He went to his next job, not answering his phone. It never happened. I mean, it's life. I had one where I drove about 100 miles in Kentucky to surprise a guy who was battling for his life with brain cancer. He never answered the front door.
Wow.
And come to find out, someone else who was supposed to be home wasn't. He was asleep, again, had brain cancer. It didn't happen. So there are times in which we want to do things and, it just doesn't happen for whatever reason. Thankfully, when we're local, we make time, another, day and time to get it done. But I don't even know how many I've done now, 150, 200, whatever the math is. But I did have one time, so not this past Christmas, the Christmas before, we went to surprise somebody, and they told us about somebody who needed a smile, who worked at this, I don't know if you guys have Big Lots. You ever heard of Big Lots up here?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay. So she had worked at Big Lots. It was during the Christmas season. And
you forget, I'm from the Midwest, brother. Of course.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
So I dressed up as an elf. Big Lots.
You're a tall elf. You're probably about what, 6'7", right? Or
no. Well, I wish I was. If I was 6'7", you and I probably wouldn't be talking because I'd be balling somewhere. But I'm 6'2". But I walked in, and again, I think we caught her at a bad day. And when I tried to go into what I was doing, she lit me up.
Wow.
And just started cursing at me, and I was like, hold up, stop recording, and it went sideways, and it never happened, but that's the only one that I would say that we made the decision in the moment to never do. But again, we've probably had 5 or 6 for various reasons out of the countless ones we've done where we can't get a hold of somebody for some reason, but thankfully most go off pretty good.
Yeah, dude, that's amazing. I want to when is the next time you're going out and you're doing the random act of kindness?
So locally we're figuring that out. When I say we figure that out, probably later this week, only because I will do a really, really random one. And when I say that, if somebody else is not nominated, so I'll go somewhere. I want to do one on my daughter's 22nd birthday. So when Maddie, the foundation of this, is 22 this Friday, I'm going to do one.
Wow, that's cool.
But we're actively planning right now to go to New York City the middle of May for 4 days and do some. And then the same things we did in Florida and California, we're also starting to look at spending about a week to 10 days in Texas in June.
Wow.
And the beautiful thing is, all of these, when I've gone on the road, have all been with LinkedIn connections.
Yeah.
So when I do them, I'm meeting up with dozens of people from LinkedIn and doing things in their community, for their people. So.
Man, I love that. I would like to maybe connect with you after this. And man, I want to give a donation so that, maybe we can sponsor the next one that you do, man. I love.
And you know what? And that's kind of the direction it went in California. As some people did that, I was then giving individual shout outs of love and gratitude to the people who helped make things happen. Because again, it's all off of the love and generosity of people like yourself.
Yeah, no, we want to make sure that you're able to keep doing that. What's a good place so that the listeners and the viewers, that they could reach out to you, so that they can give you a donation, so that maybe they can help bless somebody else?
Way is the website.
Okay.
Smile Project Louisville. If you go there, the cool thing about the site, you have the ability to donate, but everything that I do, that I put on social media, has a plug-in, so it's uploaded real time into the website. So look, you don't have to chase me down on LinkedIn, Facebook, Insta, any of those places. You can go right to the website and see everything that's done there. But yeah, it's all done through the website. You can find me as Michael Ray on LinkedIn, Smile Project Louisville on the other socials. So,
dude, that's amazing. That's amazing. I'm definitely gonna reach out to you on there. And man, I really appreciate you doing this, man. You've been a blessing to so many people, and it's just amazing to watch you go. The last question, right?
yeah.
What advice would you give to somebody that's going through some hardships, or some of the hardships that you've been through, and or some of the other people that you've been able to bless? What advice would you give
Let me. I'm
them?
going to tie it into a one I did,
Yeah.
and it's funny because again, I shared with you earlier, when I'm in these moments, I never know what I'm going to say. So, I happened to get asked about a year and a half ago by a school to come in. There was a 28-year-old third grade teacher by the name of Carly, who was battling stage 3 colon cancer. And when they reached out to me, they said, "We want you to come in because this girl is a badass. She's going through treatments, but yet shows up every day and is a role model and an inspiration, and the level of positivity that she has, even though she's fighting for her life." So when I was in the moment, I uttered the words, "We smile and make others smile because life is hard. It's not easy. And for someone like you, Carly, who chooses to smile through such adversity, God bless you." And in that moment, if you see the video, it's amazing because you got these 9 and 10-year-old kids. She starts to cry. I'm bawling, and these kids walk up. This is before COVID, and they start hugging her. Okay.
Oh, wow.
So to tie that in, I then last summer had a random phone call from somebody from LinkedIn who saw my stuff. And as we went through an hour-long conversation, we got about halfway through the conversation. He goes, "Dude, have you ever heard of the company called Life is Good?" And I was like, yeah. I said, "Man, they sell all that merch. And every time I look up, man, they got stick figures and telling you life is good." I was like, "Well, yeah." He's like, "Yeah, that's kind of what they're about." He goes, "But do you know what they're about?" And I'm like, are there more about the t-shirts?" So I'm going to answer your question now. He said, "Yeah, because there are these two dudes who started this company just built on positivity." He goes, "Have you ever heard of their mission statement?" I'm like, "Well, no, I didn't know they were beyond t-shirts." He goes, "Their mission statement is," and the reason why this mission statement was so meaningful to me is because the moment he uttered these words, it took me back to the classroom when I was standing with that teacher. And he said, their mission statement is 3 very, very simple statements. And this is the answer to your question. Life is not perfect. Life is not easy. Life is good. And I thought about that teacher and I said, look, man, we don't understand why in life some of us go through more than others. But life is still good. And when you go through such challenges, I wish that through all the chaos that I had, that I smiled my way through it. So that's what I would tell somebody, is that even though at times life gets too hard, don't compare your situation to somebody else. Just understand life is amazing. It's a gift, and it is so good. That's what I would tell you, man, and just keep pushing.
Brother. Thank you. Oh man. Wow.
Now, if anybody hears it out there that was in my life is good, I'd love to figure out a way. I mean,
we got to get you connected with them
because again, it's some of those things. When I heard that, that's what I say now. And I guess I'll leave you with all these stories that I've had in my life now in doing this. They're all just weaving this pattern. And it's like, gosh, and again, they're these stepping stones of I'm always in the right place at the right time.
Yeah.
And everyone else is too. Just understand that.
Yeah. I just want to say one thing, man. Thank you. Thank
You
you.
know what? No, look, every time I leave a beautiful conversation that I've had with you, I tell people this is a two-way street,
Yeah.
but it starts with you. You have to ask me to come into your world. So thank you for making me a part of your day, my friend. Thank you.
Awesome. 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 All right. Take care, man.
All right. God bless.